Hey, welcome back to another episode of Simple Truth Television. Today is October 12th, 2020. I want to discuss the death of Joe Morgan, the Sunday night baseball announcer and former MLB Hall of Famer who passed away yesterday at the age of 77. I want to show you guys the ritual behind his death and how it's also connected to the 116th World Series. So thank you everybody for joining us. Just want to wait for a few more people so we can get started. Joe Morgan was definitely one of my favorite, baseball announcers. I used to love watching baseball Sunday nights just to listen to Joe Morgan. But that was before I understood that these games were all rigged and scripted. I was just like the rest of the sheep in the world. I really thought baseball was a real competition, but yeah, that's a good observation. Somebody said that the Astros have his jersey hanging in the dugout. Huh? Yeah, his death is definitely connected to the Astros, but he passed away yesterday at the age of 77. Notice the headline. It says Hall of Famer, former ESPN and Sunday Night Baseball analyst Joe Morgan, dead at 77. Major League Baseball Hall of Famer and former ESPN analyst Joe Morgan died at the age of 77 after suffering from a nerve condition. A family spokesperson said Monday. Morgan played 22 seasons and is best known as the leader of the Cincinnati Reds' Big Red Machine championship teams of 1975 and 1976. The second baseman tallied more than 2,500 hits overall while winning the National League MVP twice and being named to the All-Star team 10 times. The Reds are heartbroken to learn of the passing of baseball legend Joe Morgan, the organization posted on its official Twitter account. So there's a couple of things that's interesting about this article. They mentioned that he died at the age of 77. They also mentioned how he died from a nerve condition. And Gematria, nerve condition, sums to 77, which we'll get into. But it's also interesting that he played 22 seasons, and Joe Morgan died exactly 22 days after his birthday. But if you guys are new here, what I'm discussing is Gematria, which is the practice of coding numbers into words. And this system of letters and numbers, it's what's used to script every single professional sports game. From the MLB to the NBA to the NFL to hockey, all of it scripted by this code. But the other side of it is the sick part where they ritualistically murder these former players and also these announcers that you guys see on TV. A lot of people know him as Joe Morgan, but if you look up his full name, he was born Joe Leonard Morgan. And his full name in Gematria sums to 77. Now, this system of Gematria, it involves four ciphers, right? You have the alphabetic order with the rules of numerology, the alphabetic order in reverse, and the alphabetic order in reverse with the rules of numerology. So there's four ciphers, which makes this system come together, right? Now, there's other ciphers, but the base ciphers is pretty much all you need to see, more or less the ritual behind these deaths. So the man, Joe Morgan, dies at the age of 77. His full name sums to 77. And in the article, they report that he died from a nerve condition, which also has Gematria of 77. Right? And if you look up, the teams during like his career stats, he was drafted in 1963 by the Houston Astros. And think about it, he died yesterday, on the game one of the ALCS. The Houston Astros are now playing the Tampa Bay Rays. And he was drafted in 1963 by the Houston Astros, and he retired in 1984. His last game was with the Oakland Athletics. And I think his last game is very significant. If you guys notice, he played 116 games his last season. And then he dies during the 116th World Series, right? But again, Houston sums to 77. He died at the age of 77. He died from a nerve condition, which sums to 77. And he died exactly 22 days after his birthday, the man who spent 22 seasons playing professional baseball. Now, his name, Joe Morgan, like how most people know it, it sums to 46, which is a familiar number because sacrifice sums to 46. And we always see that number show up in these ritual deaths, 46. Sacrifice also sums to 62. And, they reported his death today on the 12th because today's a day with 62 numerology. So this is why we're getting the reporting of his death today, right? October is the 10th month, the 12th day, and of course 2020. So 10 plus 12 plus 20 plus 20, it sums to 62. So he dies on a day with, the news of his death is reported on a day with 62 numerology. His name sums to 46. The sacrifice numbers that we always speak about in these videos. Now, those of you who are not familiar with Joe Morgan and his Sunday night baseball gig that he did for the majority of his late career, he used to work alongside a man named John Miller. And we're going to watch about 30 seconds of a clip of him and John Miller doing Sunday night baseball together. So just take a listen to the 30-second clip of him and John Miller.
It's the big city of New York. And right now, when the Red Sox are in town, all roads lead to Yankee Stadium, the big ballpark in the Bronx, as Reggie Jackson used to call it. There are Red Sox fans here, but not too many of them. You'll see a lot of Yankee hats here tonight. Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN, presented by Bank of America. And tonight is those two great old antagonists, the Boston Red Sox and the New York Yankees. Hello, everyone. I'm John Miller, along with Joe Morgan, and welcome to Sunday Night Baseball. Now, the Boston Red Sox had 17 runs, 27 hits. Big Red Machine never did that. Not 27. Oh. All right, so they get a hit. But, as the old Yankee manager Casey Stengel once said, 50% of this game is 90% pitching. And I never exactly understood what that meant, but the...
That's funny. Not 27, right? The baseball number. So that was Joe Morgan. That was a classic combination, him and John Miller. But let me show you guys how his death is connected to John Miller. Notice John Miller was born on October 11th, 1951. And coincidentally, Joe Morgan dies on John Miller's 69th birthday. And just notice how his surname Miller sums to 69 in Gematria. So what are the odds that he works alongside John Miller and then he dies on his 69th birthday? And of course, 69 is an important number because Saturn sums to 69, the keeper of time. Illuminati also sums to 69 as well. So this is how this stuff works. And it's like this all the time. The man names sums to the age that he passes away. He dies from this reported death. Allegedly died from a nerve condition, which sums to the same number, like his age of death, like his name. His death is reported on the perfect day. His name sums to the perfect number to sacrifice Gematria. And then he's known for, and they emphasize it in the headline, Sunday Night Baseball. You know that he worked alongside John Miller. And then come to find out, the man dies on John Miller's 69th birthday. Something else that's interesting, just